Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast. My name is Derek DeBerger. As always, Sam Roth.
How we doing, guys?
You know what we don't, and that would be who won the national championship, because we are recording this on a Monday.
Yep.
We'll get into that. We also we debate a lot of things.
A little bit.
Really passionate debate about Justin Herbert.
But we also agreed on a decent amount today, too, as well.
Fun little dynamic.
Yeah, I know, right?
Today we talk about some football news. Talia coming back for a 6th year.
Could
maybe,
he?
potentially.
Maybe. We'll see.
We talk about basketball. A lot of upsets, both men and women.
Conference plays in full swing now.
Mm-hmm.
We're about halfway through. We get my picks on halfway through All-Americans.
Yep. Because he did it and I did not.
That's all good.
Because he's more committed.
And also since... Anyway,
we talk about Caitlin Clark, too.
Caitlin Clark, too, as well as since the football season's over, we gave our quick little picks on who we think's going to win way too early top 25 national championship.
Mm-hmm. And
we do pick'ems, too. We're now in the basketball season.
We're doing basketball pick'ems.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did all our football pick'ems last week.
Yeah.
We also talk about FCS football.
Yeah.
And with that said, let's jump into the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast. We're going to jump right into it, talk about what everyone's thinking about, and that's the Epstein list. So we're going to break down every name on the list and why they were there.
Boy, oh boy, some guys in a wheelchair are in big trouble here.
Yeah, so what did you think about Donovan Mitchell being on the list or something? I'm kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. For legal reasons, that is a joke. Not that anyone
better be careful
this.
there, Aaron Rodgers.
No, there was a fake list that came out.
Oh,
we're going to actually
many
jump into
fake
sports
lists.
real quick. Yeah, there was a ton of fake lists. One of them had Donovan Mitchell on it. It was like he was like 18 at the time that Epstein got arrested the second time.
No,
He's not on the list.
There was one of there was another like NBA player tag.
Yeah,
and he's like I was 7.
Exactly. Like people being stupid for stupid's sake. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that anymore. We're not going to open that can of worms, even though we've already cracked it. We're recording this on a Monday. We're back to Mondays.
Tuesday, we'll see, but yeah.
Yeah. Which is, we normally record on Mondays. Unfortunately,
basically what we're trying to say is the national championship is tonight.
The day of recording this, yeah.
And we don't know who's going to win.
So
we have our thoughts and opinions, but by the time this comes out, someone would have won the national championship.
Yeah, that's why we did our national championship picks last week, which I guess we'll reiterate again.
Right.
But, yeah. So we're going to be talking about a game that's already happened.
We're a split couch right here, yeah.
Yeah.
Washington, Michigan over here.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate this because the game is tonight. Washington has phenomenal offense and kind of a pedestrian defense. Michigan has fantastic defense. Pretty good offense.
Yeah.
They have a good offense. They like to ball control. They play kind of old-fashioned football.
Mm-hmm.
Joyless murder ball, if you will. They don't go that far. You ever heard of joyless murder ball?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
That's what someone described Alabama's play style as in like the late 2000s, early 2010s when Saban first got there.
Huh.
They called it joyless murder ball.
Joyless murder
because
ball.
they just ran the ball down your throat.
Oh, it's just
played unbreakable defense, and they would beat you like 42-0.
So basically, they just won and lost. I mean, to be fair, football is won and lost in my opinion on the line, but they really just they just went out and hit you. That's basically what they did.
And so Michigan doesn't go quite that far, but they definitely, since they've gotten really good, sure they've been stealing signs, but like they've started to really run the ball a lot. Mm-hmm. So that's become their identity. A lot of people, I haven't watched enough Michigan to really break down J.J. McCarthy, and also it's like it's hard for me to break to evaluate someone like that where they are in an offense where if they don't have to pass, they're not going to. Mm-hmm. Literally, they didn't. They passed. Penn State. Yeah, they threw it one time in the second half, and there was like a PI, so that didn't even count.
Right.
Ultimately, so
all I gotta say is As far as like the game goes, I think it'll be a good game.
I
it'll be
think
very
so,
good.
yeah.
I don't think, in my personal opinion, I don't think Washington has the defense to win a national championship.
They have a better
I
Washington.
don't think so.
Washington to me is a lot like North Carolina last year. North Carolina's defense last year was to start the year like layup line. Like it's like they weren't even trying to defend anyone. They're like, we're just gonna outscore you every game. And they did a pretty good job of that in the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing is, throughout the year, their defense got significantly better. It still wasn't a great defense at the end of the year. I'm not going to pretend like it was a great defense. But they got so much better than they were in the beginning of the year because the bar was so low. But people never gave them that credit that they deserved for actually improving and being, actually playing defense. And Washington has a terrible, terrible pass defense. It's like bottom like 3 or 5 in all of FBS.
Which
It's
is kind of crazy
terrible.
that they've made it to this point.
Yeah, it's awful. But their run defense is not as bad.
No,
It really is not. And that's the thing. Michigan wants to run the ball.
I don't know necessarily. I think the run obviously opens up the pass, but also I was looking at some stats and some numbers. The last time a defense, since they started keeping like defensive like efficiency or whatever you want to call it, like the metrics for like to grade an overall defense basically. The last time a defense of this caliber or this low of a caliber won a national championship, 1960 Oklahoma.
Okay, what is their like defensive efficiency rate?
They're ranked like 54th in the nation.
Exactly. And that's all run defense because their pass defense is literally top 5 lowest in all of FBS.
I know.
That's awful.
I'm just saying, like, do you really even need to establish the run if you're Michigan? If the pass defense is that bad?
I mean, there's a balancing act because Michigan, they want to run the ball. They want to try to keep Penix off the field. But also,
I don't know. I feel like they would trust their defense because it's gotten them to this point.
I don't care how much you trust your defense. You can trust your defense blindly, and that's fine. That's fine if you do. But you still want to keep someone like Penix off the field. You want to keep that offense. You want to keep the play sheet by Kalen DeBoer's side. You don't want him calling plays very often. That's how you win. That's how Arizona State almost beat him. That's how you win against Washington. And yeah, it's tricky because you want to run, you want to keep Penix off the field. But at the same time, if they're giving you points, you got to take the points. And if you just let
Can't go broke
JJ
making a
McCarthy,
profit.
I don't know about that. You ever heard the stepping over dimes to pick up pennies? It's usually referring to courtship.
Noted.
That's saying.
I see.
But yeah,
Here,
know what I'm saying?
I'll ask you this question: Is this Harbaugh's last game at Michigan?
Yes.
Yes, 1,000%.
I absolutely.
He's gone?
He's back on the scorched earth thing. He's doing what I love him most for, which is giving the birdie, even though they're Wolverines, he's given the birdie to the NCAA and saying that they need a revenue share, which I 100% agree with him.
Oh yeah.
But he's just full on like, no, we should do this, and it's absurd that we don't. It's like, and he's gone.
Yep. During that press conference, he gave an passionate plea for revenue sharing. He proposed slicing 5 to 10% off for student athletes.
That's
basically.
that's so small too. Like that's so manageable.
And the memorable line was from his dad was, "We're all robbing the same train here."
Yeah, good old Jack Harbaugh.
Yeah. By the way, just for the first time saw his dad. It's just him, but older.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Spitting. It's
insane. Yeah, he's a Jack Harbaugh, legendary FCS head coach. I think he only won one national championship at FCS.
Oh, only one national championship.
Well, it's because he didn't coach for North Dakota State. That's why he only won one.
Yeah.
That's impressive if you don't coach for North Dakota State.
I don't know. North Dakota State didn't win it this year.
I know, but South Dakota State did.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you know? I'm I'll give you a hypothetical. You know what? I'll give you a real cookie. We've got Oreos.
Ooh.
I'll probably do it after we're done recording, but if you get this right, I'll give you a real cookie. Where did Jack Harbaugh coach?
FCS?
Yes, FCS.
Is it like a powerhouse FCS? Or is it like a
it's a little bit of a trick question.
Oh. Were they in the playoff this year?
No.
Oh, that I really got to bust up.
Do you want me to give you a hint on the trick?
Sure.
They were a little bit of a powerhouse, well-known name in FCS. They are no longer FCS.
Oh. So they made the jump.
Yep. That's the one hint I'll give you for a cookie. For a cookie. Sam Roth ponders on the question of where
My first dumb thought is Idaho, but I know they're FCS. So
well, they were FCS, and then they went to FBS, and then back to FCS.
Right. So I'm trying to think of teams that have made the jump.
You're gonna have to. This is dead air. You're gonna have to come up with something.
Marshall.
No, that's a good guess, but no. Western Kentucky.
Ah.
WKU.
I was in the right region.
Yeah, you are. That was a good guess.
Oh, fair enough.
But
how about that?
Yeah. And you know what? You want to talk more about the FBS championship tonight, or you want to move on to the FCS?
We can talk about either, because I mean, one game I didn't watch because NFL football was on, and it was at 2:00 on a Sunday for some dumb reason.
Yeah, but the NFL games were terrible at first.
And then also the other one, we don't know what's going to happen because we're recording it right now.
That's true. Let's talk about the FCS. Why not?
Go for it. What do you know about it? I saw my
watched
picks,
it.
South Dakota State.
I watched it until it got out of hand.
Oh, well, I mean, 23-3, is that really out of hand? Or
The momentum was all the way
Really?
in South Dakota. Yeah, it's like so.
At least the band was there for Montana.
It sure was. Does that mean Montana State has more money than Montana?
Yeah, I mean, they're sending Montana's band to their championship.
Yeah, but also it's cheaper to send a band than like an entire football team.
Yeah.
Look that up while I tell you about the game. I'm curious.
What, Montana or Montana?
Yeah, who has more money, Montana or Montana State? Anyway, you're probably going to have to look up the athletic departments because it's like, who cares about the school? Even though there's probably a correlation. Anyway, I'll get to it. So the game was on Sunday. The 1 seed versus the 2 seed. Not a big surprise there. That's who I thought was going to play each other.
Is that the right way to phrase that?
I don't know. You can just look up
Brought home $23 million in revenue, Montana State.
Montana State. All right. Well, so
And
yeah,
then-
both of these teams have very good defenses. South Dakota State had a little bit of a better offense, actually a lot better offense than Montana. Montana all year has kind of had a pretty woeful offense.
They're both at about $23 million.
Okay, yeah. So it's probably just that it's more expensive to send a band, or less expensive to send a band than a football team. But no, these are both very good teams. But South Dakota State was the clear number 1 team. They, for the first time in school history, they went undefeated through the regular season. And last season they won their first ever national championship.
Oh, how about that?
Which is kind of shocking to
So they
think.
went back to back.
Yep, for the first time,
Gotcha.
because it's their second championship in history.
All right.
It's
It's only downhill from here.
It is.
Unless
Sure
they
is.
three-peat.
Nah, it's the same thing. Anyway, they can go to FBS. I don't think they'd want to, but what I'm getting at is it was a close game at the half.
Right.
South Dakota State only had a 7-3 lead at halftime, and then in the third quarter, halfway through the third quarter as well, not even like just like from the start of the quarter onward. From the third quarter, they scored. What was it, like 20? No. They scored 14 points, I think. 13, because they missed an extra point.
Gotcha. So it was 20-3.
Yes. No, there's 23-3. That ended up being the final score. They got there somehow.
Right,
They might
right.
have kicked a field goal in the fourth. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But basically, South Dakota State scored. Montana got the ball, threw an interception, and then South Dakota State scored again. And then Montana got the ball back, and then they fumbled it, and then South Dakota State scored again. And from there, the game was over. There was a whole fourth quarter, but like it was over. It was a 20-point game at that point. And now, back-to-back champions, South Dakota State. So,
Yeah.
good job, Jackrabbits.
Shout out to Jackrabbits on that good win.
I think, this is my opinion on this, I think South Dakota State's going to run FCS.
Oh, there's a new dynasty forming.
Yes. I think they are going to run FCS. They are going to become the program in FCS.
Gotcha.
Because
Not
North Dakota State,
Yeah.
coming off one of their worst seasons in like decades.
Wow.
They lost 3 games, which is a lot for them.
Right. They're in the championship or
Yeah.
bust.
South Dakota State coming off their first and second championship ever. Their first one is with their old coach. He retired, then they promoted their defensive coordinator, and then it looks like he's an even better coach.
They're just running
So
it
as
back.
long as he stays, the South FCS runs through South Dakota.
Right.
We looked up. My dad and I looked up the city South Dakota State is in. It's like an hour north of Sioux Falls. I don't know what city it is.
Oh, okay. So it's like in
It's on the border of like Montana, not Montana.
North Dakota.
No, Minnesota.
Oh,
It is
okay.
actually really close to North Dakota, though.
Gotcha. So it's up in that corner of South Dakota.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think South Dakota State, they are the new program.
They're
They're not even new, really. They've always been good, but like
Well,
they're
like,
the program.
They're the top dog now.
Yeah,
Someone's got to knock them off their pedestal now because they've claimed it.
yeah. They're the
All
little
right.
brother grew up.
Yeah. So I kind of want to talk about a little bit more of like college football.
Yeah.
So obviously the 14 playoff happens. And now we're going to 12. People are saying since the 14 playoff has started, or like more recently so, of like teams not being able to be in the playoff
Yes.
anymore. Guys are
making the
opting out of bowl season, and it's kind of ruined bowl season. Do you think a 12-team playoff could ruin the regular season, where we see guys starting to opt out before the end of the regular season because
No.
they know their team doesn't have a shot?
No, I don't think so.
Or do you think the 12-team playoff is better because 2 lost teams now have a shot to still get into the playoff?
It's better. I think it's undoubtedly better
Gotcha.
because not only are teams with 2 losses and even sometimes I think 3 losses.
Potentially.
Yeah, if you're
On that, getting that 11 spot.
if you have enough quality wins, then yeah. But like, I think not only is it going to be more exciting to watch those games, there's going to be greater implications, higher stakes, but also, even more losses because the conference champions make it. So you could be a 4-loss conference champ and make the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a power conference, that is. If you're 4-loss, winner of the MAC, you're not going.
But also, that I feel like a 4-loss Power 5 is far and few between. I think it's going to be very rare.
Oh yeah, I know, but like, there's still a chance. Like,
Definitely, but
Virginia Tech, when they were at 4-5, there was a legitimate scenario for them to make the ACC championship. And if this, if the playoff were happening this year, if they did make the ACC championship, they could be a 5-loss playoff team.
right.
That's a realistic scenario. And I know
Far and few between, but
I'm
yeah.
I'm aware, but like it's possible.
Yeah,
And so
but improbable is a better word.
yes, I am also aware that team would probably get the brakes blown off of them. But it's more fun. Games have more meaning now. I don't think players are going to start opting out of the regular season. Like that at a certain point, NFL scouts and GMs, they're going to have to be like, okay, you're not playing the regular season finale. Cool. We're not going to draft you first
I
round,
don't know,
second
though.
round.
I feel like if the talent's there and everything.
Yeah,
if you've done all you could, I mean, let's say you're a 3-year starter at some place. Show them what you're worth.
I mean, the draft is all about like talking yourself out of guys. That's all. That's basically all it is.
I don't know about
And
that.
so, I do
Talking yourself out of guys?
absolutely yes. That's
Elaborate on that thought, please. What do you mean by that?
just GMs like they all the time. They're like, there's like an obvious like, oh, this guy's good. He's a good like
Oh, you're
running back or
basically
whatever.
Find out what they're not good at. Is what you're trying to get at.
Everyone just pries like, what can't they do? What's wrong with them? Do they have personality issues? Whatever. Like it's all about finding stuff to take them out of
I don't know.
contention.
I feel like it could be the exact opposite, where you find out that this guy's very elite at one specific thing, and there's a great role for him to be able to do that and succeed in the NFL.
I mean, sure, that's also part of it, but I think it's a lot of people just like finding reasons to not like someone.
All right.
So no, I don't think. I think it's going to do nothing but make the regular season better.
Gotcha.
Potentially the only thing that makes it worse is that there's not going to be as many like marquee matchups in the regular season, like non-conference. Because
at this rate, there's going to be just straight conference play.
I mean, at the rate we're going, sure, but like
tradition is out the window. It's going out. It is.
I know, but you can't talk about it like it's gone already.
I mean, it's not gone, but it's going.
Okay, but you got to talk about what's in front of you.
Tradition is like that grandfather in hospice. It's happening. It's just a matter of time.
No, because Oregon and Oregon State are still going to play each other.
I mean,
yeah, they're gonna fight for the Platypus Trophy.
It's gonna happen.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, like the Big Ten is already. They have eased up on their.
Well, didn't they do that
soft
a game?
rule.
Didn't they make it 10 games rather than 9 now?
Yeah, but the thing is,
that's only 2 games.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, before when the 14 playoff became a thing, they basically, quote unquote, encouraged all the teams in their conference schedule at least one power conference, like Power 5 non-conference team. Schedule at least one every single year so that it boosts your resume. Because it was harder to get into a 4-team than a 12-team, obviously.
Right.
And so now that they have the 12-team, they're like, okay, you don't have to do that.
I feel like at this point it's going to be now the seeding's going to be a question of like who's going to be where. But as far as like getting in, I feel like if you're a 1-loss team or no-loss team in a Power 5, you're going to get in.
Well, if you're a no-loss team, you won your conference.
Right, exactly. If you're a 1-loss team in your Power 5, you're going to get in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it just comes down to who's the best of the 2 losses, and then your rule of 5
Potentially
guy.
3 losses.
Potentially, but I do think that was there enough 2-loss teams to get in this year? I think there was. And then the 3-loss teams started later.
Yeah, first 3-loss team would have been like LSU, but I think they were out in this year's field.
Mm.
I mean, there are years where Louisville was ranked below LSU.
Oh, okay. Like Missouri
had 2 losses though.
Missouri, Ole Miss, Penn State was at like that line.
Yeah. There are years though where there's just a lot of chaos, and so there are going to be 3-loss teams in.
Right.
So it's fun. I'm excited for it.
Yep.
But let's talk. Here's a fun one.
Sure.
Let's talk about Taulia.
Okay.
Taulia Tagovailoa. Sorry. Originally entered his name in the draft. I'm assuming didn't get great feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's decided to put his name in the portal.
Yeah.
Because Maryland already went out and got a quarterback in MJ Morris. I think it's a very good get for Maryland, personally. He's only going to be a sophomore next year. So the interesting thing, which I'm sure you were getting to before I kept talking, is that everyone thought, like, oh, wait a minute. He put his name in the draft because he has already played 5 years. He already used his COVID year. The thing is, his freshman year
At Alabama,
of course it's Alabama. Saban loves to play guys 5 games to burn their red shirt.
Oh.
He's very notorious for that. It's kind of a D-bag move of Saban, and he does it a lot. Anyway, mini rant aside, he played 5 games at Alabama. His 4th game, he only got in for like 2 snaps because his brother got hurt, Tua, and he like handed the ball off both times. And then that was his 4th game. And then, of course, Saban played him for a 5th game because he's like, there you go, red shirt's burned. You can't transfer now. And so Taulia is currently looking for a waiver to count that year as a red shirt because it should. He played 2 snaps where he handed the ball off. Literally anyone could do that. You could go out there and get a punter, and you could do that.
Mm.
So he's looking for the waiver. It hasn't officially been granted.
So he wants, 6 years of eligibility? So it would be a red shirt, a COVID year, and then their 4 years of eligibility?
Yes. There are people playing 7 years right now.
I know. It's just... So, I mean, what more does he have to prove? He's already has the record for most passing yards by a Big Ten
Draft stock.
quarterback.
Draft stock or money, because I don't think he's going to get drafted super high.
I was about to say, I was like, can he... I don't know. There's 6 years... There's 5 years of tape on this guy.
Yep.
And there's guys
And
who...
he was a good college quarterback.
Yeah. Keyword there, good college quarterback.
I'm aware of what I said.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like... there's something to be said about guys. It's like this year's Heisman candidates. They're all older than guys already in the league. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, all those guys, top quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, all these guys played their 3 years, got in, got out, went to the NFL. Why? Because they're really good quarterbacks with really good ability.
Yeah.
Bryce Young is out, but I mean, we'll see how he does in the NFL still. But these guys are older than those guys, have played longer in college than these guys. And it's like, if you weren't projected already, you're not going to be projected. I think everyone's seen what they need to see. Is it just refusing to hang them up, basically? Don't want to go to the USFL? What's going on here?
I mean, you can probably earn more money potentially with NIL than you can in the... It's not the USFL. The USFL and the XFL is merging.
Yeah,
so now it's the UFL.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just found that out recently.
Yeah, I knew that too. I just didn't know what it was called.
That's a lot of letters.
Right.
A lot of letters to keep track of. But no, I think it's just trying to, for the love of God, if you can, improve your draft stock.
It's trying to squeeze every last bit of ounce out of it. I don't know. 7 years is crazy.
6 years for him. But 7 years for some people.
7 years in college. Mm-hmm. This man could have a doctorate. Or a master's at least.
Yeah, he couldn't get a doctorate.
Maybe you need 1 more year to get a doctorate, right? 8? Or is it 10?
It depends. It
depends on the doctorate.
Yeah.
But
there's some you can get in 3 years. There's some that take 8 years.
Right.
But anyway, it's
I don't know. I mean, here's a question for you. If he does get this granted, where would he go?
I think Miami.
But what about that freshman guy that they had that turned up and did pretty well?
Yeah, he broke his arm.
Arms heal?
I know, but that's a pretty severe injury. I don't think anyone would bat an eye if they bring in a 1 year rental at quarterback while this guy potentially heals his broken arm. I don't think anyone's. I don't think anyone would be like, that's ridiculous.
You mean to tell me he's not going to be good to go by September?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah. He broke his freaking arm. That's a traumatic injury.
It doesn't take 8 months to heal
It was a compound fracture, man. That means the bone was sticking out. Actually, I could be lying about that one. I'm pretty sure it was a compound fracture.
I don't know exactly.
I know Jordan Travis's was. I don't think it takes an expert to figure that one out. But
really, Miami?
I think so. Tua's down there. His family lives in Miami.
Oh, yeah. Didn't think about it like that.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to Miami. And Miami needs a quarterback because they have struck out on a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Cam Ward went to the NFL. Will Howard ultimately didn't go there.
Will Howard went to Ohio State.
Yep. DJ Uiagalelei went to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were looking at some other guys, but they don't have anyone.
The Van Slyke guy didn't work out for them.
Yeah, Tyler Van Dyke.
Van Dyke.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tyler Van Dyke went to Wisconsin.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, as far as I know. I know Miami's looking at some dude from Albany. FCS.
Oh, I know Albany, yeah.
Looking at a transfer quarterback from Albany. And then they're probably looking at Talia. And because I think they need a quarterback.
I just don't think. I mean, it's a pretty good take. I'll give you that. But I also don't think he's going to get it granted.
I think he will. It's 2 snaps where he handed the ball off. Literally anyone could do that. Nick Saban could do that if he had that eligibility.
All right.
You don't even need pads to go out there and hand the ball off.
And speaking of Saban,
Yeah.
Saban said Michigan was the only team that they played this year that huddled, making it difficult to react to their formations. I didn't even think about this as like a
Yeah.
possibility of like you see a formation, you line it up, you call out the play, and then your signals are being said, rather than the NFL where you huddle up with the earpiece,
Yeah.
call the play then based off the personnel in the huddle. You know?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. This is kind of just a quick story, but yeah, it does.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense because college they try to simplify things to,
Right.
you know, because
You're-
you don't have literally all day every day to just work on
No,
football.
there's quote unquote student athletes.
Yeah, but
Got class.
yeah, no, I could see it. I could see it.
Right.
I mean, I guess if you're already stealing signs, you know how to prevent your signs from getting stolen. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes
Mhm.
sense. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's just making too much sense.
All right. One more quick thing about I guess the Talia situation
Mm-hmm.
and Miami, who's my
Your pick.
predicted spot for him.
It's not a bad pick.
I think there's a reason no one's gone to Miami yet, and it's I don't think Cristobal is very good with quarterbacks. I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks that have
You've been-
played under Cristobal,
You've been on this train of like Miami doesn't have a good coach,
he's fine.
but that's about it.
Yeah, I think he's a rah-rah guy, which is fine. You can win with that. Like he won at Oregon. He
Right.
won a Rose Bowl at Oregon. But he's not an X's and O's guy. He's just not. And Miami has a ton of talent. He couldn't win with a ton of talent. It might have just been like they got in their head thing. Like it's hard to like break a culture once it's already established. You know, if you go somewhere, you lose a couple of close games early on in your tenure. It's not unlikely for that to like stick in the back of the heads of like the players there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time you get in a close game, everyone's like, well, we're going to find a way to lose this one. And it's like the game's still going on. You can win. That could be it, but also I don't think he's great. Like I think he's bad with quarterbacks. I really do. He had Justin Herbert, who's fantastic.
Yeah.
He did not look that impressive at Oregon. I watched him play.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Herbert was not a good college quarterback.
I said he didn't look impressive.
Impressive was 6th overall pick. What do you mean impressive?
He was picked on potential.
What do you? No, he was a good college quarterback.
No, his numbers. I'm going to look up his numbers.
He was
'Cause
a.
it was not.
you
They
ch-
run the ball. Cristobal likes to run the ball. Quarterbacks don't run the ball.
Are you telling me?
Unless you're running an
there's
option.
No way. Herbert was so close to making the playoff. What?
That's because the team was good. You know, the Pac-12 was not what it is now when Cristobal was there.
What? No way.
Yes,
Herbert.
dude.
Herbert was a quality quarterback in college.
I think he was always good. I
It
don't
was
think
him,
he looked impressive.
Joe Burrow. Who else was on that? In that. Josh Allen was.
I know he had pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was really good his senior year.
Look, okay, but listen to this. Listen to me. He had 19 touchdowns freshman year, 15 his sophomore year, then 29, 32.
Yeah, junior senior year popped off.
I know, but like, if you just looked at him, if you watched him play at Oregon, he didn't look amazing. The best game that he played at Oregon was the
Yeah.
Rose Bowl.
He averaged 2 touchdowns a game.
The
How's that
best-
not good?
The best game he played at Oregon was the Rose Bowl.
He played 14 games and had 32 touchdowns. And you're like, that's not good numbers.
That's not two a game.
Look at his QB rating. It was 156. His QBR is 74, 76, 80. He was consistently in the 70s.
I don't think he was. That's the exception. Herbert is like the best it gets. Look, he was not that impressive. I'm gonna die on this hill.
No,
How often did you watch Oregon when Herbert was there?
I don't know. It was back before COVID. I don't even know what I'm doing last week or this week. How am I supposed to remember 4 years ago? 5 at this point.
We're sports nerds. We remember stuff. Look,
I don't remember how he played in the game against Washington or anything like that.
I don't think he was that impressive. He just wasn't. And Oregon has talent. Oregon's one of those schools that's just always going to have talent. You can be bad at Oregon. It's usually about coaching. And so I don't think he was ever that impressive, and I think it's because of Cristobal. After Cristobal, their quarterback was Tyler Shuck, who was, he was fine at Oregon. Then he went to Miami. Tyler Van Dyke has not done very well.
You're not going to convince me a top 10 quarterback currently in the NFL, who was also a top quarterback in college, was not a good quarterback because of the head coach he had.
I said unimpressive. I never said he was bad.
Unimpressive is just another word for what? Mediocre? What
Yes.
He was not mediocre.
Yes.
No, he wasn't. Kid could sling the ball and still can.
He could, yes, but I don't think Cristobal was the guy to put that on display. He didn't put it on a pedestal.
I mean, was he the one calling the plays? I don't know who was calling their plays. He's definitely a part of the equation.
I'm not going to let this go. I think
I mean, I didn't know we were going to have this convo today.
The whole point of this is to say I think Cristobal is the reason that they haven't gotten a quarterback yet. Quarterbacks don't seem to be incredible under Mario Cristobal.
Unless their name's Justin Herbert.
Okay, that's awesome. Patrick Mahomes was phenomenal under Cliff Kingsbury. It's
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury. He's not very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on. Let's move on.
Can't say a court. It's a good quarterback.
Look, that's
right.
not what we're talking about right now.
All
Okay?
right. Football season's over. Now that it's over, we now got a champion, right? Who's your way too early top 2025
It's not Miami. I can tell you
national
that
champion?
much.
Is it not?
It's not Miami.
You don't think Mario Cristobal's gonna be raising that trophy?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I don't know if he's gonna raise any trophy. Frankly,
Oh damn!
he didn't this year.
All right. I got my pick. Do you have your pick?
Georgia. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking Texas.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm letting Texas run it back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Same quarterback, everything. Most of the guys returning. Maybe just need to pick up some pieces with the wide receivers they're losing.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's not a bad pick at all.
Yeah. I think Anthony Hill's going to take a big step second year, outside linebacker.
Mhm.
True freshman. Made some big plays in that Alabama game as well as down the stretch. I mean, they're losing some key pieces, but I think they can build off of it.
Yeah. I get it. I like that pick. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Kirby Smart's a really good coach.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, no, it's like Georgia, I was saying it, they're not what they have been the last 2 years. But the thing is, the last 2 years, they were like world beaters.
Yeah, they were.
So even you don't have to be a world beater to still be probably the best team in college football, which I think they were. They just happened to lose a game.
Yeah, they did. They lost when it really mattered.
Yeah, but no, I don't know.
I
All
mean,
right,
like,
it's
I personally still think that the best team's still in the best team is still playing.
I know you think it's Michigan,
I do.
but
I also put my money where my mouth is earlier on in the year. And
Yeah.
hopefully it happens.
why don't you talk about your parlay? Why don't you tell them?
Oh, sure. So it's a very stupid parlay. This is just one of many, unfortunately. But I have one dumb one, which is it was back in November. I put it. It was Michigan to win the national championship. Tualia's brother, Tua, to win the
MVP?
to win the Super Bowl.
Dolphins to win the Super Bowl.
After watching that Ravens game,
They're in the
against them.
playoffs, you know.
Yeah, but
I mean,
and
go
then,
Ravens. But
And then I had as far as like college sports goes, I have FAU for the national championship.
in which sport?
Men's
Basketball.
basketball.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
men's
it.
basketball.
You picked the shiny new toy to win it all.
Which one?
FAU.
I don't know if it was basically a new toy, but I was
It
like,
is.
I mean, I looked at that pick from
Before
a
March
perspective.
Madness, how many FAU games did you watch last year?
Oh, none.
Exactly. It's the shiny new toy.
But then also, it's like you looked at the metrics and everything. It's like they had good metrics last year. Solid team, top 20 in both offensive defensive efficiency, as well as having all 9 guys that played in the Final Four coming back. I'm like, well, just run it back again. Why not? You literally had the exact same team. And I was like, I don't know.
I could have told you not to pick them, but
I don't know. My thought process was like, this team, it was a Final Four team. All they have to do is win 2 more games, and they're there. And then for some reason this year they've decided to lose to Bryant and Charlotte and Florida Gulf Coast,
yeah.
with their only reasonable loss being to Illinois. But then they beat Arizona, so I don't know.
They played a really close game against Illinois too.
Yeah, it's a team that screams first round loss in the tournament, or they make another Final Four. I don't think there's an in between.
They could lose in the second round.
Fair enough, or Sweet 16, or the Elite Eight. But
Yeah.
I mean, like
They could lose in any number of rounds. There's actually 6 rounds that they could lose in.
Is that how that
Yeah.
works? That's
and
crazy.
there's no consolation game, so
Oh.
can't lose that one.
But yeah.
What are the other teams in your parlay?
Oh, Tottenham Hotspur to win the Premier League. Yeah. And
I'm not a soccer guy.
that and what was the last one? There's one more. The Nuggets to win the championship.
That's not a bad pick either.
My goal is for Michigan and the Dolphins to hopefully win, and I can just cash out. I'm not gonna let.
Or
it
you
ride.
could just wait for Michigan to win and then cash out.
Well, if that does happen, I don't know if they're gonna give me an option. Let me tell you, it's $5 to win $800K. If I even get offered 100, I'm taking it.
All right. Well, that's
Let me preface that: not $100K, $100.
no. I'm aware. I didn't think. I didn't think the bar was at 100K.
6 figures, you know.
Yeah, I'm not cashing out for anything under that.
Well, someone who's making 6 figures, like that segue, is
that's very good.
Caitlin Clark. She just
Probably. Yeah.
She just well.
I don't file her taxes.
Yeah, true. Well, she just had a game winner last week against Michigan State. She shot it from the logo. The game winner was from like the beginning of the beak of the Iowa logo.
Yeah, she can hit that.
Yeah, well, she did. It was kind of ridiculous.
She's got what's known as gym range.
Gym range. I haven't heard that saying.
Yeah,
before.
once you step in the gym, you got to guard her.
Ah, that's good. I like that. I haven't heard that.
Well, it's a thing.
Apparently, but it's also rumored that she could return for another year at Iowa.
Yeah, she's been kind of mum about it, as far as not non-committal either way.
No, but if I started looking at it, it makes complete sense for her to return.
Yep.
Which is good and bad because I support a different team in women's basketball.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I guess it's good for the sport. She's estimated to be making around $700K in NIL money. That's basically 3 times what the highest paid WNBA player is making right now. So just from
I think it's more
finance,
than that.
it's like 3.4 exactly.
Yeah. The what's the record? Like 250? That's the highest ever contract.
For like
250,000 a year.
Like per year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jackie Young is at that, but then
I don't know who Jackie Young is.
she plays for the Aces, I want to say.
She makes the most.
Per year. Ella Deladon and Skylar Diggins-Smith are tied for the highest contracts right now. Highest paid players is Deladon.
Erica Wheeler got the most. Agumbawale
Yeah.
was second. It looks like.
Here's
Which
here's
makes sense. She's
here's a
good.
source that I found for that was
This is just the first thing that came up on Google. What I looked up.
yeah, I found it here. So I went like this. So I had Ella Deladon, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Benwama Bonner. So they all make just under $900K, but it's over a course of 4 years. So the AAV is 224.8070. But
Is
then
that
if you,
the average of their career?
no average for a year. So the average annual value. Does that make sense? AAV's average annual value.
Is that for their career though?
No, this is their current contract that they're on.
Okay.
So Jackie Young gets the most per year at 252 a year. But then like if you're talking like the value of the contract, it's like the max seems to be around just under 900,000. Which that's over the course of 4 years for these players. Yeah.
Where did she go to school? She went to Notre Dame. How do I not know who Jackie Young is?
Well, she was the number 1 overall pick in 2019.
Was she?
Yeah.
Huh. Is that back when Notre Dame sucked?
Well, in 2019, I
Yeah.
don't know what Notre Dame's women's record was. I don't believe so. I think they were pretty good before COVID.
They went through a rough spell after Muffet McGraw. So I'm not sure when that was. But anyway. Yeah, my thoughts on Caitlin Clark. I think that she will come back.
Yeah. I'm starting to think
It's
just
because she can make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, so she makes more money now. She comes back again. She's going to make even more money. Like it's not like she's capped out right now.
That's how Notre Dame did in 2019.
Oh, so really well.
Yeah, 35-4. It was Muffet's 33rd year.
Okay, so yeah, she was still there.
No, that's still the wrong year. That's 1920. Then the very next year is when they had their drop off.
There we go. I knew it. I knew it happened at some point.
Yeah, the Parchers, they literally lost their whole team. They lost Agumbawale, Jackie Young, Maubrey. Yeah, they literally lost 1, 2, 3. They had 3 girls go in the top 11, and then they had 2 others go in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, so.
And now they're making a lot of money
Yeah,
in the WNBA.
What's interesting to me about players staying is it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you have to stay for 3 years. You're not allowed to go to the WNBA draft until after your third year of college.
Really?
Ridiculous rule.
Really? I didn't know that.
Ridiculous rule.
Well, also, though, I think just from, unfortunately, the way the WNBA is financially, it is not this is all you have to do for the rest of your life is play 10 years and you're set.
Not now, yeah.
It is, I mean, $900K over the course of, I mean, you're making $250K a year at the high end. That's not retirement money.
Not the high end, the highest end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
that's the high water.
It's just smart if you're a student athlete in a women's sport to get that free education.
Yeah.
That's where the education and that scholarship still has value, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is at this current state.
My problem with it though is before NIL, like someone like Breanna Stewart, she was the best player in college basketball from her freshman year on. She would have been one of the best players in the WNBA from her, what would have been her sophomore year on.
Yep.
Like, she's incredible. They made her stick around for at least 3 years. I think she stuck around for all 4.
Right.
Ultimately, like, she decided to. But she would have been the first pick.
Same argument can be made for Brittany Griner.
Yeah, but I think it's ridiculous. You should give them the option to do that. I don't understand why they don't have that.
Well, also, it's like, when's the last time that has a athlete left after 3 years? Like, when's the last time that's happened in that sport?
It happens.
Has it?
Yes, of course it does.
Well, I know it happens, but like, I'm just curious.
Just look at the last WNBA draft. Like, so I think it's ridiculous that they can't leave, but also currently it makes more sense to stay, like you were saying. But and I think ultimately that's a good thing at the current moment for women's basketball, because college basketball is currently bigger than the WNBA. And so if you are staying 3, 4, now with the COVID year, some people 5 years, you have time to build your brand. You have time to make a name for yourself. And then if you're someone like a Caitlin Clark, who is the biggest name in college basketball right now, men or women, doesn't matter. She is the biggest name in college basketball.
Right.
She's the story. Whatever she does, she's it.
I don't know though.
Her having someone with that kind of cachet go to the WNBA, that helps the WNBA significantly. But also, she could have gone after her sophomore year, and she would have been a top pick. Maybe not the top pick, but she would have been a top pick.
Right.
And I just think to just take that option completely off the table for her is ridiculous. But
Yeah, but also at this current point, the other option is you stay and you make way more money.
no, I know. It makes more sense now to stay, but they don't have the option, which I think is ridiculous.
But also, it's like Angel Reese being, its estimated value. She's making 1.7 million at LSU right now. Like she's never gonna touch.
Estimates are never accurate.
Right,
but,
but I know, but like the
I know what you mean.
same estimate for Caitlin Clark is 700K.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's like these girls right now, they're gonna enjoy this for the next 2 or 3 years, or why not just milk this cash cow?
I'm not saying that everyone should leave as soon as they would be a top pick.
You just want the option. I
Yes.
hear exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
They should have multiple avenues to choose between.
Exactly.
And you think it's bad that they don't.
Yep.
But also, what I'm saying is that it's not as bad as what it once was because, in my opinion, the best avenue that they have is the one that they have to pick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm aware of that too. It's just I think they should have the option. And it doesn't make any sense to me that they don't have the option.
Well, here's a weird one.
Unless the NBA is expressly trying to build the name of these girls, because college basketball is bigger than the WNBA.
Yep, that is another
It could be
factor.
literally force feeding almost people like these are the people that are going to be in the WNBA now. Watch them because they're in the WNBA.
So here's another weird thing for you.
Yeah.
Baseball has a rule. It's a very weird rule.
Yeah.
You can either go straight out of high school or wait till your junior year.
Yep.
So I think,
Baseballs is interesting.
well, it's like, I mean, as far as like sports go, baseball is the one sport where when you get drafted, even if you're a number one pick, you're not with the major league team right
Yeah, you're
away.
not making anything.
No. So it's like, part of it's like you can go straight out of a high school and go play rookie ball, or you go to a college where you're the man on campus.
And now you can get NIL and a
Right.
degree.
Right. So it's also like,
But the difference is
they also say like single A ball and like college, high end college ball are relatively the same. That and like double A ball. So the tiers of baseball are MLB, triple A, which is one that we have here
Yeah.
in Louisville, double A, high A, low A, rookie ball. So there's 5 levels before you even have a chance to make it to the major leagues. And they compute high A ball and double A ball very similarly to college ball, at the high end of college ball.
yeah. It's
So it's like, would you rather go to Chattanooga or Sioux Falls, or would you rather go to Jacksonville? And I don't know if you'd rather go to Georgia or like any of these big time SEC schools
yeah.
and play like Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean that one's an interesting case because it's like you're forced to make a really big decision when you're like 17 or 18 years old.
Also, though, like the signing bonus is insane.
Yeah.
Like if you go out of high school, you'll get way more money. You get like $8 million because you have the
And
option
also-
to go to college.
Also,
whereas
you're younger, and so
you have more potential to grow and develop.
well, the like what arbitration can start sooner
Well, no. So arbitration doesn't start.
until you're in the MLB.
Yeah. So
But
your
also-
clock, it's called service time. Your service time doesn't
Yeah.
start till you make it
Which is
on your
ridiculous.
debut. Oh, 1,000%. Here's the thing about it is that with baseball, sorry we're going down pro sports right now, but baseball basically you have 3 years of renewal, 3 years of arbitration, and then you can hit free agency.
Yeah.
So you hit the renewal contract once you hit the service time. So it's not until 6 years or 5 years, depending on it.
It used to be 8 years.
Yeah, 6 years, and then you can hit free agency. Well, if you're in college and you AA ball, if you don't make it pro, odds are most guys aren't hitting free agency till their high 20s, low 30s. But then also, baseball is the one sport where there isn't a salary cap or a salary ceiling or floor. So basically, it's just the open market. Whatever you're worth is what you're going to get. So you can get ridiculous amount of money once you hit your 30s if you're still a quality ball player. Some of the highest contracts in sports are through baseball.
Yeah, but also there's no security. Like if you're playing AA for a long time, you're gonna get $1,000 a month.
No, not
Like
necessarily.
that's the money. It's basically the money you get.
No, not necessarily. I mean,
You get
like,
paid.
No.
I mean, like you get like free housing, but like that's it.
I mean, like, there's a fine line to it. So like, it depends on like what you were drafted to. So like, if you're a higher draft pick, your signing bonus and to sign on and everything. Like, to give you an idea, high schoolers who go straight out of high school to MLB have a way higher signing bonus and a way higher salary because they have the option to go to college. Whereas guys who are coming out of college don't have any other option. So the team that drafts them, they can kind of negotiate down a lower signing bonus. So rather than you getting a 6 million, 5 million, 4 millions, you're getting a 500,000 or whatever.
Yeah, I still not a fan of the system, but anyway,
Right.
college sports.
Yeah, no, right.
We'll be covering college baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. We'll try. There's no news on it though.
Yeah, it's difficult to follow, but
I mean, it starts up in like a month. I want to say.
month and a half,
Yeah, basically.
a little less than a month and a half.
It's can I just say this? It is. I've always had a pet peeve about college baseball. It's started up so early. It is like 30 degrees outside, and we're playing ball.
That's why the Big Ten's not very good at baseball.
Well, it makes complete sense because it's. Why would you want to go play in a tundra up in Michigan,
Yeah,
where your first 2 weeks of the season you're running around on sleet?
Yeah. I mean, no, you're not.
I
wrong.
completely understand where the end of the season has to happen in like May, June, but it's like, it's one of my pet peeves with really early baseball. I mean, like, as long as you played baseball from a young age, season starts early March into February, and
Yep.
it's just brutal.
Luckily, I only played Little League, and they stuck me in the outfield. That means I was good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little basketball.
Oh, I'm excited.
Basketball. I'm gonna stop because I don't want to get demonetized. Even though we don't make money.
We love that basketball.
Yeah, that's right. We do. We love it here in the state of Kentucky, the Bluegrass State.
Sure do.
Big basketball junkies. Conference play is in full effect.
It is.
And so,
We're about halfway through the season now with conference play starting up now.
yeah, most teams have played about
14 games. We're about
anywhere
14
from 13 to 16 games,
Yeah,
which is the halfway point.
Yeah. Most teams are right about that 14 mark. And I believe you play about 30.
You play 31 regular season. You're going to play a minimum of 32 games.
Right. So, I mean, basically halfway there, more or less. Just a little bit under.
Yeah.
But seems like the Big East is beating the crap out of each other right now, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah. So the Big East has some good depth, which, fun fact, do you know the only team in the conference that doesn't have blue as one of their colors?
St. John's.
Nope.
Ooh, let me try. No, Marquette does, Providence?
Yep.
Yeah.
Providence is black and gray. They used to be like maroon and gray, and then they changed it.
St. John's has blue in them?
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
like
know
it's like red and navy.
that. All right.
But
Well, speaking of which, Providence is turned out to be a pretty decent team.
turned out to be, we'll see, because Bryce Hopkins tore his ACL.
Ooh.
So they lost. They were already getting. They were already getting killed by Seton Hall. But in that game, Bryce Hopkins, their best player, transferred from Kentucky, tore his ACL. And then the very next game, first game without him, they lost. So they are in a 2-game losing streak,
But it also
and they don't have their best player.
Seton Hall is also a little bit hot right now. They do have like
Oh
a
my God,
very
yes.
weird going on right now. But like Seton Hall this week beat 23 ranked Providence, and then they've also beat 7th ranked Marquette. Seton Hall has beaten 3 ranked teams in the Big East, that being UConn, Marquette, and Providence. So I mean, like right now they seem pretty hot, as well as like. Oh, we got to update on our Sacred Heart game.
Not just Sacred Heart. I was going to do this in a second.
Northeast.
I was just getting ready.
I gotcha. No worries. We'll get to those. But also other games. There's no more undefeated teams other than Houston.
Yeah, Houston's it.
James Madison lost to Southern Miss.
Pretty bad loss.
Who else was undefeated? Colorado State lost
Ole
to
Miss
Utah State.
got destroyed by Tennessee.
Sounds about right.
They got destroyed.
I really like Tennessee.
I do too.
Tennessee's my favorite to win the SEC. I think they're that good. I think
Them in Kentucky, yeah.
Nope. Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, maybe even Alabama.
No, no.
Kentucky's the 3rd best team. Auburn is going to shock a lot of teams, I feel like.
Auburn's good, but like
Auburn's good. I think
Kentucky's really good this year. I hate to admit it, but they are.
Auburn's ranked 25th, and I think it's criminally underrated.
Well, the new ratings are going to come out by the time we finish this.
Right. I'm just saying, last week they were ranked 25th. I have them for my top 25. I have them currently sitting at
You
6.
love to do that. You're
I-
insane.
No,
you
I'm
had
not.
BYU number 3 last week.
Yeah, and they're 12th now because they had not a poor loss. I have Cincinnati ranked now, but Cincinnati's
No,
a decent
Cincinnati's solid.
team. Yeah, and
I think they only have 2 losses on the year.
I mean, like, truly, I do believe like BYU is the 2nd best team in the Big 12, behind Houston. And
Kansas?
Kansas is 3rd.
Baylor?
Baylor, I don't think is that great. I think BYU is going to be the 2nd best team in the Big 12 this year. I think Houston is way up here. That defense is so good.
Yeah, and they've got an offense to pair with it.
Right, but then like BYU is going to be the 2nd best team. Had a poor loss against Cincinnati, but I mean, like, I do feel like this.
It's not that bad a loss.
I don't think it's crazy to say that other than Houston, everyone else is going to have like at least 5 losses in the Big 12. I think everyone's going to beat up on
It's a
everyone.
really, really good conference.
Right. I mean, like
It's
Kansas
probably the
is
best one in basketball.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Kansas is going to beat up on teams. Baylor's going to beat up on teams. Even teams like Iowa State are good. Iowa State's going to beat up on teams.
Iowa
Cincinnati's
State's
going to beat up on
historically a
teams.
good program.
I think realistically, like 10 teams from the Big 12 are going to make the tournament. Like TCU,
Potential. I like TCU quite a bit.
like there's like to give you an idea, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oklahoma, forgot about them.
Wait a minute. Did you rank TCU after losing to Kansas?
I did.
What's this whole thing about there's no good losses then? Come on.
What are you talking
They were
about?
unranked and you bumped them up.
I sure
after
did.
losing.
I did. Because let me put it to you this way: I don't look at my rankings and go off of past prior tenses and then rank them based off of that. I don't go like every week. It's a fresh, clean slate. I don't look at my prior thoughts and go, here's what I'm working with. I rank a team 1 to 25 new every single week.
I know what you're saying, but that's insane.
Fair enough. I know that's not how a lot of people do it. They're like, oh, they lost, so you got to move them down to here. If they play, like it's like Colorado. Colorado lost without 2 of their best players by 47 to Arizona. Still think Colorado, if they ever do get those players back, are good. Now, I don't have them ranked right now because it was a really bad loss.
Colorado also beat the brakes off of Miami, who
But
I think is better than you think. Miami.
I don't know. Miami beat Clemson, but then
Clemson then also turned around and lost to North
it's so
Carolina.
weird with everything that's how going. I mean, like I would put them with like FAU, like Miami and FAU are kind of the same team. It's like they can play up to competition, but man, oh man, what happened with these slip ups?
Yeah.
FAU losing to Charlotte by 2.
Yeah, and then Miami did lose to Wake Forest, who, by the way, has one of the longest winning streaks in the country.
Really?
Did you know that? They've won 9 in a row now.
Wake Forest has?
Yeah,
Huh.
I think so.
Interesting.
They started off 2-3. I think
They're not on my radar. It's also like I don't know, like who's another team that's like good but like has fallen? Like Marquette. Like Marquette has lost what 2 this week? They lost to Seton Hall.
Yeah, Marquette had a bad week.
I
They
mean,
lost to
but
Seton Hall, and then they lost to Crate. No, not Crate.
might have
You
been.
probably have it in here. I don't know. St. John's?
They lost to Seton Hall, but they lost to Providence earlier in the year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like no, but they beat Creighton, so it's like I don't know what to think of this team. So I mean,
Yeah.
like
I mean, Villanova, too. Villanova's got some
right,
very good wins. Terrible
man,
losses.
oh man. But yeah, like as far as like the Big 12 goes, yeah, I think there's only like 4 teams that don't make it into the tournament, and that's UCF, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and Kansas State. I mean, like
Kansas State, we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, like
This is where we're going to find out how good Jerome Tang is.
1,000%.
Because
I mean,
so Arthur Kaluma and Tyler Perry,
yeah,
big fans. I think they're very, very, very talented.
Right.
And then the rest of that roster, I think there's a huge drop off. There's a massive drop off in talent from Kaluma and Perry.
yeah,
And we're going to see how good a coach Jerome Tang really is, because if they make the tournament, like they've got a good record right now. They're 11-3. But if they make the tournament, that will be miraculous. If they make the tournament, give that man the Louisville job right now. Hand him the key to the city.
I don't know about that so far.
Yeah. Let him
Hand him the key to the
have him
city.
do Writers Up at Derby. Like I will sell this man my soul if he makes the tournament this year.
I mean, if he stays competitive in the Big 12, he's definitely got a case. Yeah. It's one of those, Big 12 is so good this year, it's one of those where it's like, you could be like an 18 and 14 team and still make it.
Yeah. It seems like it seems a lot of years there's a conference like that. You know, for a long time it was either the ACC or the Big East.
Right.
It looks like it could be the Big 12
in the
this
recent
year.
years, it's really become the Big 12 for basketball.
Oh,
Last year they were very good.
I mean, this
year's extremely good.
I can't think of their commissioner's name, but he's come out and said, he's like, not only do we want to be a relevant football conference, we want to be the best basketball conference.
Right
And
now they are
he's making the case for it. They're
1000%.
very good, and they were thinking about bringing in Gonzaga and
that'd be great.
UConn.
That'd be something.
That ended up falling through, but
right.
no, it's definitely a good basketball conference.
Oh yeah, and then like the Big East, SEC, Big 10, ACC, Pac-12, a little bit of a drop off. I mean, the Mountain West is very good this year. Extremely good.
For a mid-major, it's a very good conference.
There's a case for this mid-major where 4 teams could like make it in. And I know
I think
I'm saying
5 teams could.
I think 5 could, but realistically only 4. You're going to have to eliminate one of those teams.
I don't think
And,
so.
like,
Not
one-
necessarily.
I don't know. I think there's just only so much room after the automatic bids and everything for.
Oh, there is only so much room.
So I mean, like, do 5 teams deservedly should have a shot to be in? Like, yes,
Yeah.
but I think they're only going to take 4. I really think it's
like 4.
it's San Diego
4 teams
State.
made it last year,
It's
right?
San Diego. I'm not sure exactly.
There was a good amount of Mountain West teams made it last year.
San Diego State, Colorado State, Utah State. You have New Mexico, and you have who am I forgetting? Nevada.
Nevada, yes. And also Boise's pretty solid too.
Boise's
Solid.
I don't know. 10 and 4.
Watch out for Boise.
No,
I don't know if they're going to make the tournament, but watch out for them. That's all I'm saying.
Their best win is against St. Mary.
It's not a terrible win,
They
but
don't have- they
St.
don't-
Mary's is definitely a disappointment.
They don't have any quad 1 wins.
I know. I'm just. That's why I said they're not going to make the tournament, but watch out for them. That's
right,
what I
NIT
said. That's all I said. That's all I said.
All right, fair enough.
Don't twist my words here.
But speaking of which, there is one player in this conference that I do have in my All-Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. My mid-season All-Americans.
Let me guess. He's on Colorado State.
He sure is.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't have any clue.
His name's Isaiah Stevens.
Isaiah Stevens.
Isaiah Stevens. Yes, I have him. Obviously, Zach Edey. He's going to win the Wooden Award again.
He might. Yeah.
He's just tall and he's like there's arguments online going around of like him being good or not good. He's just tall, and that's why he's good at basketball.
I think he's good.
I mean,
I don't think it's just that he's tall.
I don't know if it'll translate to another level. Hunter Dickinson is another one of Kansas.
He's good.
Quality player.
Very, very good.
Kyle Filipowski. I don't think I said that right.
Filipowski.
Of Duke. And then PJ Hall of Clemson.
Yeah. A lot of forwards on there.
Yeah.
A lot of forwards and centers.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what college basketball is turning into a little bit.
mean,
It's a resurgence of the big man.
I like
it.
I really wanted to put this guy on it, but I just can't do it just because of the amount of minutes he played, plus the talent around the team.
This is the sixth man you were talking about, right?
Yes. I couldn't do it.
Tell me about this before we start recording.
He doesn't start for his team, but he gets like the most he's their go-to guy when he's on the floor.
Hersey Miller.
Rob Dillingham.
Rob Dillingham's good.
Rob Dillingham's good, but it's so weird because it's like he doesn't start. He's behind DJ Wagner.
Yeah, but
then like
they
if you
start
look
like 3 or 4 guards a game, and he's another guard. Like Kentucky is loaded at the guard position.
Oh, I know. I personally like their bench guards more than I like their starting guards. I like Reed Shepard and Rob Dillingham more than I like DJ Wagner and Antonio Reeves. Like it's.
I don't know about more than Antonio Reeves right now. I think long term they're gonna be better, but like.
I mean,
Antonio Reeves is playing really well.
He is. I mean, I was like trying to think about this. I was like, how do I fit Rob into my team? And it's just like, I don't know, because DJ and him play the two, and so both of them aren't on the floor a lot. Like, if you look at the lineups that are
DJ doesn't
used,
play the two. He's a point guard.
Who?
DJ Wagner.
Not really. Reed mainly plays the one when they're out there. If you look at the most frequent used lineups.
Their most frequent lineup is DJ Wagner at the point.
Yeah, but only 15% of the time. But if you add up the next 4 lineups here, that's way more than 15%.
Okay.
With Reed at the 1 and then DJ at the 2 or Rob at the 2.
Okay, well,
with
what's
DJ
after
going
that?
all the way to the 3. DJ at the 1 but at 3% usage rate?
Well, that gets you up to 18, 19%.
18, yeah, but then just along with 9, 8, 6, and 4 right
We're
there.
looking
That's
at
up to
KenPom right now.
Yeah, it's up to 25%. Sorry, we're speaking foreign languages here in numbers. Kentucky is a fun team to look at, though.
I think Kentucky is better than you're giving them credit for. That's my opinion.
Okay, let me just put it this way. I think Kentucky's a very good team. Let me just say that outright. I just think Tennessee and Auburn are better. That's all I'm saying.
I'm okay if you think Tennessee's better. Tennessee's great.
What about Auburn?
I don't know if they're better than Kentucky right now. I really don't. Like, here's the thing about they could lose to Auburn. I'm not even saying that. Like Auburn's a well-coached team. Kentucky's just fantastic. The style they play, Kentucky could very easily be upset in the tournament. I'm just gonna throw that out now. If they get if they lose in the round of 32, or like if they just don't make it to the second weekend, that's not gonna shock me at all. But Kentucky is very good.
I'm not saying they're not.
Very good.
Do you think they're gonna win the SEC?
I don't know. I'm more inclined to say Tennessee because Tennessee has a good offense, but also their defense is elite.
Yes,
they have an incredible defense.
1,000%. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really just like Tennessee, and then Auburn, and then Kentucky, and then Alabama. That's all. That's how I'm ranking the SEC right now.
Yeah, Alabama's like Michigan State for me right now.
They both are the exact same. You got a lot of losses, but the efficiency's
lost
there.
a lot early. Except Alabama, their losses were to better teams.
Right, but I don't know. They just can't seem to get over the hump when it comes to those big games. Let's see.
Except Michigan State did destroy Baylor.
Yeah, they did.
I will say this is something that I'm passionate about. That was Baylor's first true road game. That plays a factor. That always plays a factor for teams.
Oh, 1,000%. There is something to be said about home field advantage in basketball.
Yeah, but like specifically the first road game that you play, because freshmen are like younger players, and freshmen in particular make a bigger impact in basketball than they do in a lot of other sports. And so if it's your first time as a freshman playing a road game on a Saturday, either like big non-conference matchup or like just like anywhere. Like if you are at a mid major and your school is going to like a blue blood to pay the bills for basketball, or if you're just playing a big non-conference game, or it is a conference game, which there's higher implications there. If it's your first road game, the environment's going to be pretty raucous, and that can be jarring if it's your first time. So I'm always a big advocate of when scheduling. I'm saying this into the void, basically. No one will heed my advice here, but I'm always a big advocate of like coaches should schedule a road game against a team that they should win, just to get them used to it.
Like a check game.
I mean, probably you're still probably gonna have to pay to play on the road, but like
Right, but like a quote unquote like a check game, like a game where
Yes.
it's like okay,
yeah, I think so because let's say you're UConn, if you play a road game at Northeastern, in I think Northeastern's in Boston,
sure,
it's close by. If you do like a home and home with them, you play them at home 1 year, and then you go on the road at Northeastern, you're not going to lose to Northeastern. You're not going to lose to Northeastern, most likely. You want to schedule a team that you are very confident you're going to beat. So, but Northeastern, UConn's coming to town. They're going to be hyped for that game. I don't know how big their stadium is. It's probably only like 3,000 people or something like that.
oh yeah,
But like they're going to be excited. They're going to be amped.
oh yeah,
And that's going to get you ready for when you go to, at Villanova.
oh yeah.
And so, like, if let's say at Villanova is your first road game,
Who I believe,
or like
right?
I think they lost at Seton Hall. Seton Hall might have been their first true road game. So if you play at Seton Hall, you're less likely to get upset. That's just my theory on that.
Right.
I think it makes sense.
It sure does. I'll give you it.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we move on to the pick'ems? You want to talk about anything else?
You want to cover some women's games real quick?
Yeah. Let's talk about women's game. Great game. Virginia Tech beating NC State at Virginia Tech.
Right.
Watch that game.
Was that the last second shot?
Yes, it was. A couple last second shots. I'm not in love with how the end of that game was managed. So, like NC State, Virginia Tech got the ball with like 30-something seconds left
Right.
with a 1-point lead. And then NC State was like guarding real close, and eventually fouled them. But the thing is, before the first foul, they only had 2 fouls in the quarter. So they had 2 fouls to give before they hit the bonus. And Virginia Tech would start shooting free throws. If I'm the coach there, I'm like, okay, we have 2 fouls to give. Be uber aggressive on the inbound. Try to get a steal. If you foul them, who cares? Who cares? You got a couple fouls to give. So try to get those steals off the inbounds because you've got 2 chances to just hack away at them and try to get the steal. And then if not, okay, cool. Now you're at the bonus. Now you can foul. Because there really was like 34, 35 seconds left. So I think there was 37 seconds left. And so, actually there might have been less than that. I don't remember. There was so little time to where it's like, yeah, you could run the shot clock out, but then if, let's say they missed, you get the ball back at the end of the shot clock, there's barely any time left. And so I think they should have fouled. They didn't end up doing that. They fouled once, but that was an accident.
Gotcha.
And then they didn't end up fouling. The only reason they got the ball back in time is because they left Georgia Amore open for a wide open 3, and she just bricked it. She took a shot with like 7 seconds left on the shot clock, which I think she should have waited, but they did give her
The look.
a wide open 3.
gotta
So
take
I understand.
gotta
Because
take
if you
it.
hit that, that's the dagger.
Right. If it's there too.
Yeah.
Like,
And then, like, NC State just got lucky that she missed. That's it. And then they ended up getting the ball back. They took a 1-point lead with 2 seconds left. And then they inbounded the ball to Liz Kitley she hit a shot at the buzzer. Not at the buzzer, but like
I will admit, this is one thing I do like about women's basketball over men's basketball.
you can advance the ball.
1000%. I love it. It provides that opportunity to where even if late in a game and you manage those timeouts properly, it also provides just better coaching opportunities. Where it's like if a coach is able to manage their timeouts better throughout the end of the game, save them. Besides, I really like how you're able to advance the ball just like the pros. Men's basketball is now the only sport in basketball in America that does not advance the ball late in games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what's wrong with it at all. It makes games way more exciting.
Yeah. No, I mean,
It also changes the outcome because, like, if you have to go the length of the floor in those 2 seconds, this game dusted over. NC State's probably going to win that game. But then moving that ball halfway up the court changes the dynamic significantly. You can actually run a quote-unquote play.
yeah. I get what you're saying. I think I agree with you, honestly. But
Also, why are we still playing just halves for men? Why don't we go
that
quarters?
doesn't kind of infuriate me. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
think it's just TV. That's all it comes down to. I think with your under 16, under 12, under 8, under 4 timeouts for commercials, plus mixed in with however many coaching timeouts you have, plus halftime, plus everything else, right there alone, you're
Yeah.
at least getting what? Each team gets what? 4 or 5 timeouts in men's?
5 total
5.
if you use it.
Right. So like you have 10 timeouts there. Plus, I mean, they don't go to break a lot with the team timeouts if it's late in the game. But I'm just saying, like, right there, 10 timeouts plus the other 8 that you're getting, plus halftime. Right there, you're talking 20 commercial breaks within a 2-hour game. I don't see why it would ever change from a business standpoint of how to market the game.
Yeah, it's
But-
weird.
But as far as, like,
Making sense, it should change.
right, 1,000%.
Because like literally every like high school basketball is played in quarters.
Well, also, the other nice thing about it is that it would drastically change how fouls would work, too. Because the bonus, you wouldn't be in the bonus with 12 minutes to go into a game. There's sometimes in some games that happens. You get to the 6 fouls in 8 minutes. And there were teams shooting bonus free throws for the rest of the way for 12 minutes.
Yeah,
And it just changes the dynamic of the game.
yeah,
Whereas if you split those up into 5s across 10-minute quarters, drastically changes that bonus scenario. And I feel like you get to watch more quote-unquote basketball rather than guys just standing at the charity stripe.
yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say.
Right?
It's there's problems and it's probably not going to get fixed.
Nope.
Oh
But
well.
with that NC State loss, for me in my rankings, they went from 3rd down to 7th.
I don't think I ranked. I am much higher on Virginia Tech than you were this year.
I moved them to 19th. I didn't have them ranked.
You didn't have them ranked for a while.
Well, now they're 19th.
I still don't get it, man. They're good.
Oh, let me
I
tell
like
you.
their coach.
They keep
Liz
winning.
Kitley and Georgia Amore are very good.
Let me tell you, they keep winning. They are only going up from here, baby. It's only up.
Criminal.
I don't think so. You want to know what you're going to find criminal? Move South Carolina from the 1 seed down. UCLA's top dog.
No, that's wrong.
UCLA is top dog now.
No. South Carolina is so good that if they beat a team, I'm not even dropping them. Because it's South Carolina. They're too good right now.
No, UCLA's better. UCLA's got better wins now.
Okay.
Also, speaking of a fantastic win, shout out to Grambling for beating Bible
Yeah,
Studies.
College of Bible Studies.
College of Bible Studies.
Largest margin of victory ever.
141,
college.
143 or something like
It's
that.
141.
Yeah. Bible Studies might want to hit the court a little bit more.
Yeah.
19?
I want to see College of Bible Studies versus
What's worse, giving up 159 or only getting 19? I think giving up 159.
I think they only scored 18.
I know. So which one's worse?
The 18?
Really?
You have to hit 9 shots in 40 minutes to get 18.
159 though. That's
Yeah, but 9 shots. You can hit more than 9 shots in 40 minutes of play. Like, that's terrible. That's so bad.
but 159 points on your head?
That's look, it's all
What's the
it's all
most-
terrible.
What's the most you've ever seen a team score?
I-
100? in college?
I don't know.
Like 100? 159.
It's bad. I'm aware. It's really bad. But, yeah, I think the South Carolina thing is criminal, but we're going to do our pick'ems.
No, it's fun. That's what we're here
Anyway,
for. And it's the right decision to be made.
we're going to reiterate our football pick'ems just in case we look stupid. One of us will. I'm for the national championship tonight. I'm picking Washington.
I've got Michigan.
I've already won the pick'em for football, so that's why I'm
yeah.
going
Yeah.
a little balls to the wall.
I
here.
don't know. I got one championship right. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, I knew Montana wasn't going to win, but I was having fun with it.
Oh, okay. And I can't have fun with UCLA.
It's a livelihood, man. You're affecting livelihoods here. Yeah. All right. I got Washington. Moving on. Basketball pick'ems. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We're doing it.
It's fun time of the year, yeah.
Love this sport.
Doing some men's basketball picks.
Yes. Yeah. First, we've got this is a fun one. Preseason, I don't think people thought it was going to be as fun as it is, but BYU at Baylor. I know who you're picking.
I love me the Mormons.
I
Give me
know
the
you do.
Mormons. Keep them rolling, baby.
I'm picking Baylor. I think they've probably had this one circled for a little while.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if Baylor wins.
Yeah, no, they're good this year.
Let me put it this way: if it was at BYU, I would be more heavy on BYU. But like, I feel like this one's gonna be very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Baylor. I will say BYU probably was looking ahead. I don't think they took Cincinnati as seriously as they needed to because they had Baylor next.
Right.
So I will give them some credit there. But next up, we've got Houston, the last remaining undefeated, versus Iowa State.
And criminally not ranked number 1 for some reason.
I mean, Purdue's got a better resume. Kansas is really good. If they keep winning, they'll be up there.
Oh, well, let me tell you.
You keep saying it.
Yeah.
I'm picking Houston in this one.
I think both these teams are good.
Yeah.
I personally think Iowa State should be ranked.
They could
Houston, though, in my opinion, is the best team in college basketball right
Yeah.
now.
All right, next up we've got Tennessee at Mississippi State.
They already slaughtered one Mississippi. What's another?
That's true. No, I like Mississippi State. I think is pretty good. They're not as good as Tennessee. This is a
Right.
different. This is a different, just level really of basketball. It feels like to me. Even though Mississippi State obviously could win, anyone can win. But,
Right.
but no, Tennessee's gonna win.
Tennessee's
Next we
quality.
got Wisconsin at Ohio State. That's a fun one, honestly.
It is.
Ohio State's coming off of some losses.
Yeah. I personally think Wisconsin's the third best team in the Big Ten.
I think they could be. Sure. I don't think. Honestly, I don't have an issue with that right now.
I think they currently are, too.
Yeah. I'm taking Ohio State though.
I'm picking Wisconsin.
I'm taking Ohio State. I think it's at Ohio State. I think that's going to make the difference.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So give me the Buckeyes. Give me the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we got Oklahoma at TCU.
Yep.
Again, solid teams.
Yep. Very good teams.
That's what I love about basketball is you can have a ton of teams that are unranked. That are still really good teams.
1,000%. You can only rank 25.
Yeah, and there's 362.
Yeah.
There was 363 last year, but one school was like, screw it, we're not playing basketball anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, we're dissolving the program.
Yikes.
Yeah, so who do you got?
I got TCU just because it's at TCU. I really think TCU's a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
Not say Oklahoma isn't a good team. Let me put it this way. If it was flipped, I would have gone Oklahoma. But because it's at home for TCU, I'm going TCU.
I kind of agree with you. I am taking TCU. I think
And
Oklahoma.
you're like agreeing with me a decent amount this podcast.
I know, shocking,
I
isn't it?
know, right?
Oklahoma's good. I like their coach. He was the guy that took Loyola Chicago to the Final Four, Moser. And they've got a really good point guard too. I just think TCU is going to be pretty amped.
Yeah.
Their student section is going to be excited,
There you go.
and they've been good at basketball for a few years now. So I think it's one of those things where if you're good at it long enough, people get excited. Next up, Big Ten. We got Michigan State versus Illinois. This is interesting.
Yeah, because Michigan State's a good team, but for their record, it doesn't really show that they're a good team.
Yeah.
It's like they just, I don't know what's going
And
on. with
Illinois
them.
probably going to drop out of the top 10, but
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
The way they lost to Purdue, well, they lost by 5 to Purdue, and Purdue's a very good team.
They were down 21 and they cut it down to 3.
I saw that. Yeah, I was like, oh, I can go to bed and finish my top 25 because Illinois is going to lose this game, and they did, but they didn't lose by how much I thought.
Yeah, it was close.
I guess give me Illinois, bounce back game for them. Plus, it's at home.
I'm taking Michigan State.
I'm not surprised by it. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they're gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah.
I think they are getting some momentum together.
Yep.
And yeah, give me Sparty.
Right.
All right, Alabama at Mississippi State. This is another one. It's rough.
Alabama's going to hopefully start finding a way to click. Same thing with Michigan State. Just
Yeah.
they gotta win their way back into the tournament.
Yeah,
They've stumbled out of the gates. They got to figure it out.
Yeah, both Michigan State and Alabama, their backs are against the wall.
Yeah.
They are really hovering around the bubble right now.
They're like that 9-5, 10-5 team. They just gotta.
They could comfortably be in the tournament come Selection Sunday, but right now they are not at all.
I mean, they gotta finish. They gotta finish around that 20-10 mark.
Next up, we got Alabama. Nope, just did that one. Kentucky at Texas
Wait, who'd
A&M.
you pick? I picked Alabama. You picked Alabama.
Oh, I did
too?
not pick. Yeah, no, I'm gonna pick Alabama.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's a tough one for me.
Really?
Yeah, it is, but I'm taking Alabama.
Mississippi State's a decent team too.
And it's at Mississippi State.
Tournament team.
They've got a tough week.
Yeah.
All right, Kentucky at A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. See, I hate Kentucky, but their team is really good. But I was really high on A&M preseason. I'm gonna go with A&M.
I'm kind of with you here, but for disparity, I'm gonna go Kentucky. But I was gonna pick A&M until you said something.
I mean, A&M beat Kentucky last year.
Right.
I like Buzz Williams as a coach. He's pretty good.
They should be a tournament team this year.
Oh, they should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a terrible 3 weeks, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna go Kentucky because you went A&M.
Next, we got San Diego State versus New Mexico.
It should be
Mountain
very
West.
good game. At New Mexico. by the way.
Mid-major, baby. Yeah, I'm taking New Mexico in this one.
Yeah. I'm gonna go San Diego State. They should be on paper right now the favorites to win the Mountain West.
Not Colorado State?
No, Colorado State fell
Yeah, I know.
to Utah State.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think San Diego State currently controls their own destiny. I mean, all those teams do if they all win out, but
Yeah.
give me San Diego State.
All right. Oklahoma at Kansas.
It continues to be a rough week for Oklahoma as they lose to Kansas.
Yep. All right. I'm going with Kansas, too. I just like Kansas a lot.
Yeah.
I've had them number 1 for most of the year in my poll. My own personal poll. Houston at TCU. I'm going Houston.
I don't see why you don't.
Yeah, I think TCU very
Until
good at home, but
let me put it this way: until something changes, Houston, whoever they play right now, I'm picking them.
I don't know. I mean, they're very good. It's hard to pick against them.
I mean, like even if it's like at Kansas, I'm going Houston.
Cincinnati at Baylor. Baylor's got a pretty tough week ahead of them too.
Yeah, but they got 2 home games though.
I think that's going to make the difference, and I'm
They
picking
get to
Baylor
stay-
in this one.
Yeah, they get to stay in Waco. I went against them here.
First
for,
game, yeah.
For BYU, I'm gonna pick them against Cincinnati. Bounce back. Give me Baylor.
All right. Finally,
We had to do both Patinos, didn't we?
we did. We had to do both father-son duo. We got St. John's at Creighton. Don't look now. St. John's is pretty good.
Yeah. Too bad Creighton's pretty good too, and
Yeah.
I think they're gonna bounce back. Give me Creighton.
You kind of stole my pick a little bit here.
I
I'm
mean,
still taking Creighton.
I mean, but like, yeah, I'm gonna go with Creighton. I still have them ranked. Like, I feel like Iowa State's criminally underranked as well as Creighton. I still think they're good teams.
Yeah.
They just had some poor losses.
Yeah, I do think just because of Creighton, I think they're good. They're well coached. They just haven't. They've had a little bit of a rough stretch, and so
It's also they just ran into Seton Hall and like Villanova and stuff.
Seton Hall's good, man.
Yeah.
Gene Holloway, I was telling you, it was on my rebuild list
Yeah,
of
there
good
you go.
rebuilds. It looks like they're ahead of schedule.
We'll see. Yep.
But no, I think St. John's come the end of the year, they're going to be a team no one wants to play.
Really?
Nobody wants.
I think they're going to be a bubble team. I think they're one of the teams that are going to be on the bubble.
They could still be a bubble team, but it's like you don't want to play them.
Yeah. We'll see.
Rick Pitino's too good. All right,
All right.
that's our episode. Those are our picks. Go Huskies, I suppose.
Sure.
Sure. I mean,
For yourself, yeah,
Yeah.
Wolverines.
I don't actually care, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.